In question 127, they want you to compare what they're calling the structures of a carbocation and a carbanion. They give the labels for these down here, and then they say the shapes that these could be. It says in one of these ions, the central carbon is trigonal planar, so that's one of them. One of them is going to be trigonal planar, and the other it's trigonal pyramidal, and they want you to say which is which. Okay, first, what is this carbocation, carbanion business? An ion is an atom that has a charge. And you can have two types of charge. You can have positive charge or negative charge. If you have positive charge, then you are called a cation. And you could remember that because the T in cation looks like the positive sign for a charge. Or if you have a negative charge, you could be an anion. Now, if the cation, if the positive charge is on a carbon, it's a cation because it has a positive charge, and carbo because it's on carbon. And if you have a negative charge on a carbon, it's an anion because of the negative charge, and it's on carbon. So carbanion. So that's where those names are coming from. And we'll see these appear a lot later in the course, especially carbocations. So okay, what shape do these two things have? Well, the process we go through is the same as we've been going through. Look at that central atom. Ask yourself, how many atoms is that bonded to? And the ends of these lines are supposed to represent places where you would have an atom. And so you'd have 3 atoms in this carbocation. And if you look around the carbon in that carbocation, there are no dots there. And so it has 0 lone pairs. And so if we compare that to our little table that we would have memorized, 3 atoms, 0 lone pairs, that gives you a trigonal planar shape. That's like a triangular shape that's flat. So if you have a central atom, you add 1, 2, 3 bonds on it, triangular shape. You can see how those bonds are pointing to the ends of a triangle, and if you turn it to the side, it's flat. So that's the one that's trigonal planar. Now, the only other option was trigonal pyramidal, so that's what this must be. But just for the practice, let's go through that. Let's circle that central atom. How many bonds how many atoms is that attached to? You have 3 atoms. Here, though, in addition to the atoms, you have 1 lone pair. And so that combination of stuff all repelling each other gives you 3 atoms, 1 lone pair, a trigonal pyramidal shape, and that's the one that we knew it was going to be. That was the only other option that they gave us in the question. So trigonal pyramidal. So it looks a little bit like a pyramid with a triangular base, and that would look something like this. So trigonal pyramidal, you have 3 bonds, right? 1 lone pair, and so you can see how that's sort of a pyramid shape with a triangular base. And that's the shape that a carbanion would have. So a carbocation is trigonal planar, flat. It's going to be very significant later in the class. And then a carbanion is trigonal pyramidal.